What's up, guys? It's Rahul, and we're going to be going over some chill and rain decks and speculations on a little bit of stuff. So I've already been working on some lists here and there, kind of writing some stuff out, figuring things out. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to test any of these lists because I haven't really opened up IRL product yet. I haven't seen any friends to play some games. PTCGO is really the only way to test cards right now, so I haven't had a chance to do any of that. But next weekend, I mentioned in my previous video, I will be doing a pre-release with a couple of my friends, and we will try to play some IRL games then, get some gameplay videos in. It'll be streamed all on my Twitch channel on June 13th, so come check that out. But until then, I have a couple of lists that I'm going to show, and today we're going to go over Shadow Rider Calyrex paired with Alcremie VMAX. So let's jump right into it. Okay, guys, today we're going to be looking at Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. I don't know why the image is all blech, but shout out to Jake for having Pokegear app 1.2, which lets you build kind of decks. You can kind of build whatever you want on this site. Very easily accessible, tells you all the prices of everything. And for things that are not in this site, you can drag and drop them in. For example, the Showing Rain cards and Eevee Heroes cards are not in because it draws from the Pokemon, I guess, Pokemon website database. So they're not in the system, so you can just drag and drop them, and they just don't save as efficiently. If you like screenshot the picture, it just works just as well. So Shadow Rider Calyrex, if you guys didn't know at this point, is the poster child of the next set coming out. With the ability Underworld Door. Once during your turn, you may attach Psychic Energy and from your hand to one of your benched Psychic Pokemon. Keep in mind it is benched, not your active, so that is something to keep in mind. That's why you need switching cards. You draw 2 cards. So it basically is your draw, it's your acceleration. It's like an all-in-one package. It's like Zoroark and Malamar had a baby. For 3 colorless energy, you have Max Geist 10 plus 30 for each Psychic Energy attached to all of your Pokemon. That attack takes a little bit of time to scale up. For the time being, it's like not super amazing, but it will scale as we get later into the game. There's the baby. The first attack is like 10 and Chaos Wheel, I believe. It's no stadiums and no tools the following turn. Maybe special. I don't remember what the exact thing is, but it's not a bad baby to have in the deck. So you want to play a 4/4 line of Shadow Rider Calyrex just because it is your acceleration, it is your draw and everything. So even if you get like 2 or 3 up and running, all of a sudden you're flooding your board. You probably want 3 up at any given point just so you can flood those energies into play, draw those cards very consistently. Playing high counts of energy is never a bad thing for a deck like this because energy is what you need. Now the backup attacker is Alcremie V. You can see here on the TCG player sites how low it is right now. So I would suggest buying these Alcremies. I don't think they'll actually go up too much, to be honest. Even though I've been harping on Alcremie for a couple of months now, I think the card is really good, especially post-rotation. But pre-rotation, it can also be strong. So you have Alcremie, the baby, which has Sugary Sprinkles, which heals 30 for all your bench Pokemon. Very irrelevant. Sweet Splash, which does 100 and they can't attack back. Also irrelevant, I think, but it is a decent attack to clean up for 100 damage. And then you have the Big Cake. Now, this card is already going up to $4.70, about $5. Back when I started talking about Alcremie, it was about $1.50. I bought my playset of 4/4 Alcremie for less than $10. I used it. I got this art. This art is the good art, I think. So you want the fancy art. It has the attack Adornment for each of your bench Pokemon. Search your deck for a Psychic Energy card attached to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So if you go first, you open Alcremie V. You can go into the VMAX for turn 2 and use Adornment to actually just set up your board for whatever shenanigans you'd like to be doing for the rest of the game. It has 3 retreat costs, though. That is a little bit unfortunate because we do want to be switching between our options. Metal Weakness is also not the most ideal, especially in the form of ADP, but you can get around it because you have G-Max Whisk 60x each energy you discard from your Pokemon. So basically you can go turn 1 into turn 2 like Shadow Rider, accelerate, 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 or go turn 2 Adornment, or if you're going second, you can go turn 1 Cresselia, accelerate 3 energies onto your board. Get a bunch of these things set up, ready to go, and you can G-Max Whisk turn 2 for like 300 damage, potentially more if you need it. Yeah, you have the potential to knock out a VMAX on turn 2. That's why this attack is just very, very strong. And that's all I have to say about it. Like, it's just very, very strong. And you could literally just do that and then go into the follow-up, another Alcremie to end the game. And win 2 turns, the game is just over from when you can attack. Or you can just, take a turn to set up with Adornment again, and all of a sudden you've won the game. Now, I know you're thinking, why is this better than Trevnor and Mew 3 and whatever. I don't know if it is, but post-rotation it will be. So I was already putting some stock into it. And then I saw Andrew Mahone's video on him playing against a friend of his, I think Zealy it was, on the Tricky Gym channel. And I decided to sit down and put together a list. You have Cresselia as well. And now Cresselia is Purple Volcanion. I know it's really blurry. I dragged and dropped it, so I don't really understand why it's doing this with the quality. But Cresselia is Purple Volcanion. If you attack, you can get a Psychic Energy attached to one of your Pokemon, so basically Adornment. Not as good, but if you went second, you can get 3 and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So going second, you can immediately pretty much power up an Alcremie. You can immediately power up a Shadow Rider. You can power up pretty much anything in your deck. And then Photon Laser is 3 plus 90 if you have 5 energy in play, which is not that hard to do with a deck like this, so it is a good cleanup card with 120. The reason we're only playing one copy of Cresselia is because we have so many searching outs. We have like 8 search outs, more than that actually, to find it. So we don't really need to play more copies. We have 1 copy of Crobat because we do need to draw cards, but again, Quick Ball is our only way to find the Crobat. This is just like an early game I need to set up, or like a really late game I need to dig for a boss and end the game kind of deal, because most of the time Shadow Rider Calyrex will be drawing us the cards we need, and we'll have a pretty decent hand size. There are 4 copies of Sonia because it searches your deck for either 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energy cards. So in the early game, it's a setup card to get our baby Shadow Riders, our Alcremies, maybe the Crobat. Late game, it is the basic energy cards to help us draw some more cards, which is all we're really going to need. So really cool card to have in here. I was also considering doing this change where I go to -1 Sonia and add 1 Cheryl, simply because I want to be able to, simply because I want to be able to, what did I do? This goes here, this goes here. Just because I want to be able to have the ability to heal all my Pokemon after I discard energy, because Alcremie is a big boy. We are going to be discarding almost all of our energy attached to our Pokemon. We use Alcremie's VMAX Whisk attack. So having the ability to heal is really strong. The only reason that having 4 of this and 1 of this is, or like 4 of this and only 0 of this, is because we don't have any support or recovery. This Ordinary Rod can become a Pal Pad. That's what I was also thinking. If I go with this route, it will probably become a Pal Pad, and I will probably find a slot for Phoebe somewhere to deal with Decidueye and Lucario Melmetal for the time being. But as it stands, I don't think I need to have those cards. But this is kind of where I would be. 4 copies of Research Max Consistency, just drawing as much of our deck as we can to see. This could also be one of Marnie, I guess, to have some Shuffle Draw, because I don't have any Shuffle Draw. But I don't think you need Shuffle Draw with a deck like this. There's 3 copies of Boss's Orders. We are going to be basically bringing up their big boys before they're ready to go and taking them out to town. 2 copies of Chaotic Swell. Now, we don't really need a stadium in this deck. There's nothing that really benefits this deck to have a stadium in. But Chaotic Swell means we can't get Path to the Peaked. It also means that we can answer Hearths and Wondrous Labyrinths and all those like fun things right now. When rotation happens, I don't know if there's a good stadium slot to play in here. You probably need to play a stadium just because Path to the Peak is so powerful. It will probably shut this deck down where it stands. So you probably want to find yourself a stadium to play post-rotation. I don't know what it will be yet, because there's a lot of stadiums we haven't seen yet. I don't know. Maybe Training Court. Maybe... I don't know. Post-rotation is a while away. We'll figure it out when we get there. 4 copies of Fog Crystal. This is actually just a pivotal cornerstone of our deck. How it works: search your deck for a Psychic Energy card or a basic Psychic Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand. So it also fulfills the condition of finding a basic Pokemon to help our setup go, and also just find more energies. There's 4 Quick Ball. You can search your deck for basic Pokemon, reveal, put it in your hand. So we have 4, 8, 11 ways to find our basic Pokemon, which there are 4, 3, 1. There's 8 there, so there's about 20 cards in our deck that find basic Pokemon, which is all we need to get the ball rolling. Now, Pokemon Communication is a card that people play when there's a lot of Pokemon in the deck that are like extraneous support tech Pokemon, that kind of deal. This deck doesn't have that many extraneous support tech Pokemon. The attacker is the support Pokemon, and the support Pokemon is the attacker. Therefore, Evolution Incense is a better option to just play. You just play 4 copies of Evolution Incense, you search your deck for an Evolution Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. Very simple, cut and dry. We either get a Shadow Rider Calyrex, we either get an Alcremie, we get the ball rolling. Simple as that. 3 copies of Switch and 1 copy of Air Balloon. Obviously, you saw that this guy has 2 retreat costs, so the Air Balloon can go onto him or onto Cresselia, which has the 1 retreat cost. But the 3 copies of Switch means we can pivot out of our Alcremie much easier because this guy has a 3 retreat cost, so it's much more difficult to move him out of the active spot. No more needs to be said about these switching cards. And then for recovery, I play a copy of Energy Recycler, shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck, because we are going to be using G-Max Whisk, and then when we discard those energies, we do want to find a way to have them back into the deck, because those energies are also our pivotal draw cards. We have Ordinary Rod as well, because I would have a second form of recovery in case we discard too many of a certain part of our line. Now I guess you could also cut the Ordinary Rod and cut the Cheryl, and just play 2 copies of Marnie, which I think is also fine. I don't really like having a Marnie in this deck because I would like to keep my hand size where it is, and playing something like a Marnie to dig a little bit deeper is not ideal for me. So it's kind of how I'm approaching the deck. I might just be absolutely wrong, and Marnie needs to be a necessity in the deck. But this is your first look at Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Let me know in the comments what else you guys would like to see this week in terms of new decks. I will probably do a PTCGO video tomorrow or the day after for wrapping up some of these decks that PC4 is coming up with. And then once that's done, I will look into getting some more of these decks up and running. And then after the pre-release next Sunday, hopefully I have enough cards IRL to have a couple of matches done for you guys, recorded, ready to go. And then we'll have content going for pre-release Chilling Reign release week. So if you guys enjoy the content, obviously like and subscribe. Thanks as always for watching. And until tomorrow, guys, peace.